The boardroom lights were too bright that morning. Clinical, merciless. They reflected off the glass table, off her watch, off the smirk. She didn't bother hiding. "Here's a hoodie and a $50 card," she said, sliding them across the table like scraps to a beggar. Her tone was light, her smile wasn't. It was my wife's sister, Claire, the CEO. She just fired me in front of everyone around us. The others stayed silent. Legal counsel, HR, a few board members pretending to check their phones. The scent of burnt coffee and tension filled the air. I remember looking at the hoodie, company logo still creased from the warehouse fold and the gift card taped to it. The irony was precise. She wanted humiliation, not just dismissal. I said nothing. I buttoned my jacket, adjusted my cufflinks, and met her eyes one last time. That was the moment she mistook silence for surrender. Claire wasn't just my wife's sister. She was the golden one, the first to speak, the last to listen. When my wife and I joined her startup, I believed in family and shared vision. She was the face of the brand. I was the architect behind it. She raised $5 million seed. I built the tech that made it worth 50. But she never liked that the investors trusted me. Never liked that. During every pitch, eyes drifted toward the CTO slide with my name on it. At dinners, she'd remind me who signed the checks. At meetings, she'd finish my sentences badly. And when my wife died 2 years ago, she didn't offer condolences. She offered a contract amendment. I should have known then. Nothing family, nothing sacred, only leverage. The betrayal came quietly. I discovered it one night in an email chain I wasn't meant to see. A forwarded thread accidentally CC'd to me. The subject line, CTO replacement and bonus reallocation. The body of the email was colder than I imagined it could be. Claire had written, "He's emotionally unstable since the loss. A liability. Let's execute termination before Series B to retain control of IP and reallocate his $250,000 performance bonus to the leadership pool." Emotionally unstable? A liability? My wife's death? Used as a legal pretext? I stared at those words for a long time. Not rage, not disbelief, just silence. The kind that rewrites everything. That night, I opened the company's digital archives and started downloading, quietly, patiently. I didn't need to hack anything. I built the infrastructure. I knew every backdoor, every buried audit trail. The plan wasn't revenge, not at first. It was precision. Step 1, gather evidence. Emails, transaction logs, fake invoices, and her creative expense routing. She had used investor funds to remodel her lake house disguised under employee wellness retreat expenses. Step 2, timing. Series B funding was 3 weeks away. If the lead investor, Harrington Capital, saw proof of financial misconduct, they'd pull the plug instantly. Step 3, distance. I made sure the digital trail led to an anonymous whistleblower report filed through the firm's internal compliance portal, complete with time-stamped attachments and cross-referenced metadata. And then I waited. I watched her fire me. I watched her smirk. I let her believe she'd won. The Series B meeting was held in the same glass room where she humiliated me. This time, I wasn't invited. I didn't need to be. From the cafe across the street, I watched the conference through the reflection of the opposite building. Tiny silhouettes moving inside the room, heads turning, paper shifting. I knew exactly when the lead investor would open the termination file. I'd arranged for the whistleblower documents to be attached directly to that file. Flag for review. Timing is everything. Justice isn't loud. It's surgical. 10 minutes passed. Then 15, then a call. Not to me, their voice sharp, urgent. Inside, Claire's posture changed. She went from leader to defendant in seconds. Her shoulders stiffened, her hand reached for her phone. Too late. When Harrington leaned back in his chair, I knew what he'd found. He reviewed her termination file, flipped through the attachments, then slowly pushed the folder back across the table. "Congratulations," he said, voice even precise. "You just lost your company." No shouting, no seeing, just silence. The sound of everything collapsing quietly. Claire sat frozen. The watch that gleamed so arrogantly during my firing was now motionless under the light. Outside, left a 5 on the counter and walked out before the meeting ended. A week later, the news broke. Harrington Capital withdraws from Series B. CEO steps down amid misconduct allegations. I simply opened my laptop, logged into the now defunct company Slack, and posted one final message in the general channel. "Thank you for the hoodie. I found better fabric elsewhere." Then I shut it down. Revenge had never been the goal. It was balance, the quiet kind, the kind that restores what was taken, not with fire, but with truth. Tap subscribe and join our community.